Welcome to a new episode of the Sporting Verse.
The house of all sports.
Here are your hosts, Dylan and Andre. We're bringing another episode today where we have plenty of things to cover. We had a great week last week about football. We all know what happened. We already talked about it. So today we're going to be talking about our predictions, some other news that came out even today. But before we go into our topics, just don't forget to subscribe. If you're here, if you're liking this, everything that we're doing, just go ahead and click on the subscribe button. And if you like it, a like would be amazing.
Yeah,
So Dylan,
share it, leave comments, everything. You guys already know.
Yeah.
You have a lot of topics to cover today. It's gonna be one of the craziest, most exciting weekends in the entire season. Talking obviously about football and NFL. We mentioned it the other day. Divisional rounds are always crazy, and obviously we have the best of the best playing against each other. 4 games that are gonna be full of emotions, full of great rivalries, full of great
Yes.
talent. Surprises probably coming. Who knows? We'll see.
Yes, we'll see.
But yeah,
We'll see.
I mean, football is at its peak, and it's gonna be a crazy weekend.
Yeah, it's those type of weekends you need and you must enjoy. Like we have good matches right today or this weekend. We have a lot of talent, like already consolidated. We have new talent, new blood coming into the postseason, trying to prove themselves as well, right? So we have plenty of topics
All the
to
ingredients
cover,
are there.
and we have very very nice ingredients. That's what I would
Yeah,
say
the
as
perfect
well.
recipe
Yeah,
is coming our way,
Yes.
and you don't want to miss it. Remember that we're gonna come at you every Monday and Friday with updates on all of this because we're gonna be watching the games, and on Mondays, obviously, we're gonna
it's
come
because
back at you.
we
and
are
talk
in,
about what
in
happened.
that time.
Yeah,
we're
it's
in postseason time.
we can't stop. Okay, we're
Yes.
talking about this. We're talking about sports, football, basketball, everything, every single day.
Everything
It's
that's
just,
happening.
I mean, there is a lot. So yeah, we're
And a
gonna
lot
try
of
to
things
pack
are
everything.
coming as well because I mean
Yeah.
February it's a month full of sports.
Yeah.
Full of sports. So yeah, we're gonna be talking a lot about that. Of course, this episode it's going to be
Heavily focused on
around-
football again.
Yeah, around
yeah.
football.
So yeah,
We
I
have
know
the
you guys out
postseason.
there want us to talk about basketball and other things. We will, okay? Just hold on, because this is the time of the year where football takes all of the lights
All-
again.
Yeah, all the flashes. And
Yeah.
it's just January, then Super Bowl. Then we'll have to forget about football for what around
3 or 4 months,
probably
Yeah.
more something like
depending
that.
on what
So-
happens on the off season, because we
Yeah.
obviously know
Yeah.
there's gonna be a lot of movements. But yeah, we're gonna try to hold it there after the season is over, and then focus on other sports, obviously,
Yeah.
and other sections like Andre was saying. But yeah, let's jump straight into what we have for today, because again, we're gonna have the top 8 teams, obviously, because if they're still alive, it's because they're the top 8
They're
teams.
the top. Yeah.
Whether or not you agree with that, whether or not upsets happen and there were other teams that were supposed to be here, well, they are not here. Okay, so now we have 8
There
teams.
is a reason why they're not
Yeah,
here.
we have
Right,
the
so-
final eight teams, and that's where we want to start talking about first and foremost.
Yes.
Who are the better teams? So we want to run through our lists of the top 8 teams, and yeah, I want you to go first on this one because
You
I'm
want me to
curious
go-
to know. Yeah,
Okay. Yeah. Well, I had some difficulties thinking of this. It was tough because we have great teams. So I'm going to start with. I'm going to start from the bottom to the top.
yeah.
I think
Let's do it.
it's better.
Let's do it like that. Yeah.
So yeah.
And I think the bottom selection is gonna be the easiest one, probably. But
You
let's
think?
see. Let's see. For me, it was the easiest one.
Yeah. I know.
Let's see if
But
we agree.
For me, right now, the bottom team, even though it's a great team, I mean, we were not expecting that team to get here, to get to this point, but definitely the Bucs are the ones that are that I feel are a little bit behind than the rest. That's for me, right?
Okay.
Um, so yeah, for me, the Bucks, they've been playing very well, but still they have some weaknesses that will show up on. I think this game is going to be on Sunday.
Sunday. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
and they're playing the Lions. They're up in the list, not next, but you're gonna be surprised about the number 7. I
Surprise
know
me.
you're gonna be surprised.
Bring it on. Bring
I
it on.
have the Chiefs as
No
number
way,
7.
brother.
Yes.
There is no.
I mean, the Chiefs play very
no
well.
way.
The Chiefs play very well against the Dolphins, but we all know these are not the Chiefs we used to know, mainly in the
I can't
offense.
believe this is happening right now.
Mainly with the offense. We all know what happens. They struggle a lot during the regular season. They didn't play the best defense in the league, a defense that was broken during the game. So I don't think, or I don't see them as a real threat for the Bills. It's gonna be a good. It's
No
gonna be a
way.
good game. It's gonna be a great game. One of those we're gonna remember for sure, because this rivalry it's already building up, and we have some sparkles there.
Yeah.
But still, I don't think this team will move on.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I know.
I respect
You
it. I
and Pat
respect it.
Mahomes, you're like
we have an affair. I
You
know.
have a bromance
Yeah.
there, but I don't think that they're I don't think they're better than the rest of the teams that we have in the contention right now.
I'll give you this. That's a bold statement. I'll give you that.
Okay, we'll see. We'll talk
We'll
about
certainly
this
see.
next week. I know.
Yeah.
Then I have as number 6 the Packers.
Okay.
I guess no discussions there. I know they might be a little further at the bottom, but for me the Packers and Mr. Love proved a lot of people wrong. They were not the best team in the regular season, but the way they played against Dallas in Dallas, that was amazing. Then I have the Lions, the
Okay.
Cinderella story of the season. They've been playing very well, and they were very consistent throughout the year, and we have to give them that. As a number 4, another surprise maybe, I have the Texans, because CJ Stroud as well proved everyone that he's the main contender for the rookie of offensive rookie of the
You
year.
see, you're on my side now.
No.
There
I
you go.
said it. Yes, he's the best, but we cannot just put aside. I
Puka.
forgot.
Yeah.
Puka. Yeah, Puka. So that was my statement. I'm not saying he's not or he hasn't been the best. Then I have the Ravens as a number 3.
Okay.
The Ravens are the number 3 team for me. Probably they will be facing. Probably, I'm saying this is not my prediction, but I know the odds are in the Ravens' favor, right? In Ravens' favor. So we might see them facing the Bills, which is my second team.
Okay.
And as the first one, or for the first one, I have the Niners.
Okay.
The 49ers. For me, that's the most that's the team that it's actually a team in all the different sites that you have. Offensively, defensively, special teams as well. I know they don't have the greatest quarterback, but even with a regular quarterback, they're able to win and put some numbers in there, right? So
Yep.
that's for me. Now, this is before the bye week, right? We need to see what's gonna happen after bye week. We all know that sometimes plays against the teams. We're gonna talk a little bit about that. And I know they have a lot of pressure on them, probably because they've been considered the best team during the season. But yeah, that's my top 8, let's say.
Okay, I respect it, and we started with the right foot. After that, it went to total trash. I'm gonna tell you that. There is no way the
Okay.
Chiefs are 7. There is no way, and I'm gonna
We'll
tell you.
see.
I'm
We'll
gonna tell
see.
you why. When I talk about the Chiefs and the spot I gave them, but for me, it's the Bucs
Yeah,
number
probably
8.
they're gonna be number 2, number 1. I know.
Be patient, brother. Okay.
Yeah, I know.
Number 8 is gonna be the Bucs. Again,
Yeah.
that was the easiest call. I mean, this team is like it's just like a team that just woke up and felt great for a couple of weeks, and they're here and they have nothing to lose. Obviously, everything that they have done
They're
is
playing
already
loose. They're playing loose. Yeah.
Everything that they accomplished already, it's a plus. But yeah, they don't seem to belong to this group. Talk about it the other day. They're here because that division is just, I
Yeah.
mean, it's really bad, and somebody needed to come in, and they did. So yeah, that's the Bucs. Next in number 7, I have the Packers. So we were kind of
Okay.
closing that one.
Kind of close.
Similar.
Yeah.
You put them on 6. And the reason why I put the Packers here is because I think they're just a little bit ahead of time. So we talked about it in previous episodes.
You were not convinced about what they did against Dallas.
No, I'm convinced because it already happened, but I'm not convinced that they can continue to do the same thing over the top teams. Because
Okay, but
I never
they-
considered Dallas a top team like that, you know? Obviously, it was an opposite still, clearly.
Okay.
We all agree
okay,
on that.
we agree on that. Okay.
For sure. But I don't think the Packers right now,
But the way they won.
it was amazing. It was pretty impressive. They played great rushing game, great passing game. Jordan Love played an amazing game.
Aaron Jones.
Yeah, he's becoming a star. Aaron Jones crushed the Cowboys like he always does. I mean, I give you all those checks. It's fine. But what's coming, it's a different level.
Yeah, I know. I mean, we're talking about the 49ers. But still, I
it's a
don't think
different
that
level.
that's going to be, it's not going to be a 48-17 game. I don't think so.
You're going ahead of yourself because we're going to be talking about predictions and scores later, but we'll see. So the Packers, again, great team, great future. I'm not saying that they're not going to be able to pull this one completely. I'm on the Niners side for sure. They could give us a surprise. They have the talent. They have the team to do it, but I just don't think we can put them ahead, especially not ahead of the Chiefs. But that's the Packers on number 7. Then number 6, I have the Texans. Pretty similar case. Really talented team. The rookie of the year is playing for them at an amazing level. They're balling, but again, a little bit ahead of their time. They're still a young team. I think
You
they're-
don't see the Texans beating Baltimore?
That's a tough one, brother. I was going through my thoughts earlier today on that prediction. It was so hard to pick one of those two teams, especially
know,
because of the
I
Ravens'
can't-
history in the postseason. Lamar, we
Yeah.
know that it's similar to that Prescott. He becomes a different player. Normally in the postseason, he struggles. We'll see if this is his year to actually, come in and let us know that all of those years are in the past and that he can actually bowl at the same level when it matters. We'll see about that. It was very difficult, but I'll let you know.
I'm a bit
what my
surprised
prediction
that,
is.
that they're your number, 6?
Yeah.
I'm a bit surprised because this is not what I've been hearing the past
Yeah,
episodes.
I know.
so-
I know. But again, I'm just thinking overall, putting everything in context, I'm saying
Okay.
the future is great. Within this pack right here, there are other teams that are proven.
But I
that
mean,
when they play in this time of the year, we see or we have seen what they're capable of doing. This is their first time.
We're not talking about if they are going to win or advance. We're talking about if they are or not a good team or
Yeah.
one of the best teams at this moment of the season, right?
Right. Totally. And
Okay.
I still think they are not better than the Chiefs. Obviously not better than the Bills. Obviously my next one, which is the Lions, actually, are ahead of them by a tiny margin. That was a close one. I could have put them ahead of the Lions, but I think the Lions have put such an amazing project together. Um, Obviously, we have seen Goff flourish after what happened with the trade and everything that went wrong for him. Now it's going right. Dan Campbell is a great coach. We talked about it the other day. I mean, they have multiple weapons. Their rushing game is good. Their passing game is good. Their defense is not that bad. I mean, it's not the greatest, but it's right there. So I think they're a very good team, solid team. So that's why they're kind of like in the middle of the pack. Next, there is where my Chiefs come. So they're not number one, not number two, because I'm also realistic, right? I'm not letting myself go with the emotions, right? And the curious thing, and here is where my details come with the Chiefs, and that's why I disagree so badly with you putting them on the 7. When you look at their season, obviously, if you compare it with previous years, you can talk whatever you want about how bad it has been in comparison to that. But to me, that's not necessarily a fair argument, because when you see the Bills, I mean, they have the same record as the Bills. The Bills caught fire later in the year, which is obviously the reason why they're here.
But Kansas never did.
Kansas was there, like, navigating through the season with ups and downs, right? It has been ups and downs all over the place for them. We can all agree on that. But, I mean, you cannot just disqualify the fact that they still have Mahomes, they still have Kelsey, they still have Pacheco, they still have Andy Reid. The defense is still really good. I mean...
Yeah, but here's the thing. You're telling me that I cannot compare, or it would not be fair if we compare them against the Chiefs that we have seen in the past years? But that's the standard they have set for themselves.
Yeah, but it's not fair to just say, just because they haven't been that great, you cannot put them as a top team right now.
The thing is that they haven't been, or they have been, for me, they have been just a regular team.
Yeah, but
offensively, they're a regular team this year.
We're punishing a team just because how great they actually are or were, right? Because of the dynasty, but we can argue they have built.
They average around 17 points per game. Offensively.
Yeah, I understand that, and I'm not saying they are the same Chiefs from previous years again, because I don't believe that. But to the same point, I cannot go back and say they are not good right now because of what they were before, or comparing to that. I mean, that's unfair.
I don't think they're good enough at this point. They're not good enough. They're good enough to be here. They're not good enough comparing them against the rest of the teams that we have.
And I think that's
probably against the Bucs. Yes, of course.
I think that's one of the biggest reasons why this team is gonna come and play extremely hard. And they will try to shut all of these mouths right here. And everybody else that is talking trash about them and how bad they have been, they're listening to all of that. Don't you think Mahomes and Kelsey and all these guys are...
I hope so. I hope they prove me wrong and they play in the way they should be playing for the team that they have. They should be playing differently. They should be playing better. Those wide receivers should stop.
They will play better,
balls.
And nobody wants them to play better, because that's going to be a major problem. Like, if they start playing...
But that's what we want to see.
Well, obviously, I want to see that.
I want to see the best team, the best Kansas City team against the best Bills.
And I want
to see that.
I think that's what we're about to see. So that's my hope. That's where
that's my hope as well.
That's where I'm putting them at number 4 right now.
They haven't played that well. They haven't played that way.
In comparison to the previous year. You see, that's just your only argument. I'm just saying that when you see the numbers again, they don't look that terrible.
No, they don't look terrible, but we're talking about the top 8 teams, right?
Yeah.
So they don't look terrible if you compare them against the league. But against these
what do you mean?
Against the Ravens, the Niners, the Bills, the way that the Texans have been playing.
Listen. Again, I don't want to go ahead of myself, but I was checking the statistics, right? When you compare, for instance, just Mahomes and Josh Allen, the number of yards, total yards, pretty similar. the number of
We're
touchdowns
talking about
pretty similar.
but that's one person. That's
The rushing game.
We know about the quarterback.
The rushing game pretty similar. It's a close clash between the top two running backs on each of the teams. When you check out the wide receivers, obviously, we're gonna count in Kelsey for that matter because it's the top receiver on the Kansas City Chiefs. Again, it's pretty close to the top option that Josh Allen because it hasn't even been Stephon Diggs so far. So all of those things are right there, and we're saying the Bills are a great team right now. That that they could potentially win the whole thing, right? We all believe that, and I think it's fair to believe it. But again, I just don't understand why that season for the Bills, it's a dream, and then that same kind of season for the
it's not a dream for the Bills. But the last 5 games, the last probably 7 games.
It's been seven games. I think
it's a different team.
Obviously, they have been a different team. But that's the team that they were supposed to be all the season,
that
right?
For Kansas. That's not the team we've seen for Kansas.
Yeah, but again, the numbers are right there, and they're telling you the story as it is. It's the same, like head to head when you see these two teams, right? We cannot say the Bills with those numbers, which are pretty similar to the Chiefs' numbers, are great and are having an amazing season or an amazing ending of the season or whatever.
I would compare the last 6-7 games. To make that comparison, I would compare the last 6-7 games.
It's not going to be necessarily
the
fair comparison because we understand that
Why
the Bills
not?
caught fire just
Exactly,
in that. Like,
but
and so,
Kansas,
of course, you're
but
like, let me pick the
Kansas
seven best games for the Kansas City Chiefs and then compare the 7 games that the Bills have had.
The
That's
thing is
a more
that
fair
Kansas
comparison.
hasn't played that well during the whole season. They've been
According to the standards from the past, obviously.
no.
But when you see it right now in this season with the other teams,
it's been a roller coaster for them.
of course, and I agree with that, and I agree with the fact that it hasn't been the same Kansas team. But again, I just don't think that we should punish them this much for not being as great as they were before. That's all I'm saying.
I think that they're here because of the injuries that probably the Dolphins had during the game. Or well, no, probably because the Dolphins lost the division against the Bills in the last game. Because if they were playing in Miami, probably the story would be different.
I don't think so.
I do.
I don't.
But that's just
it's fine.
Something that
let's
we don't
agree
know
to disagree.
Let's agree.
I
to
have
disagree.
my Chiefs number 4, then the Bills right after them number 3. Again, I talk about these two teams and how close they have been as an overall, not just again the Bills. We understand have had the better streak recently, but overall they're pretty close.
So you're playing safe on this one. Number 1 and 2 are the safest.
It's not the safest. It's just what it is, bro. It's just the reality. There is no way. And I'm putting the Niners in second place and the Ravens in the first place. And again, both of these teams have everything that you need to win.
Even
but I think
with all you said about Lamar, you still think they're number 1.
Because something is telling me that this year Lamar Jackson will actually show up.
Well, that's what we're all hoping.
And it all comes down to his passing game at the end of the day because we understand that when he rushes, there is not going to be any issues. Like he is going to find a way to make a play if he runs. But when he passes this year, obviously he has been better. And if he is able to stay within the same lane, I think I
think it's going to be about the pressure, how he handles the pressure. Because when he's under pressure, and when he's under pressure in terms of the environment that he has, he tends to fail and drop those passes that you say, what are you doing? Like you look like Dak Prescott.
Yeah. No,
right? Like
for
sometimes,
sure.
but I mean, he's still young. We're still hoping to see that Lamar Jackson that we saw when he was playing in college,
player that we have seen multiple times.
Exactly, during the regular season. So we'll...
Yeah, so my head was telling me the Niners should be the first seed here in my list. But my heart, again, was telling me that there is something different in the mystic of the Ravens this year. So I'm putting them at first.
Good. I'm going to give you that because you're going with your heart differently to what happened, a couple of episodes
Yep.
ago.
Yeah, I learned my lesson, okay?
Okay, good.
It's not going to happen again. But yeah, that's our top 8 of the current, obviously, the teams that are left still alive in the season. Let us know what you guys think about our lists. Who has the most accurate list? You already know the answer to that, but
I know, I know.
I don't want to influence you
I
guys.
I don't go with the with what everyone's saying. I know, I know.
Yeah, but drop a comment. Drop a
however,
comment
yeah.
with your own
However,
list
I
and
believe,
who has a better list as well.
yeah, I believe I have a good one. I'm convinced.
He believes he has a good. Are you listening to this? He has a good one. I have a great one. Okay, I'm confident.
I don't think so.
He's saying
I'm
good
not
one.
convinced about the Chiefs being that
You're gonna be
high.
surprised,
your
brother.
list, but-
They're being labeled as the underdog right now. Imagine.
yeah, yeah, I know, but it's still fair. I mean, Bills have been playing better than that.
Yeah. Well, let's hope
All good.
we can all surprise. Then I'm a stay with my Chiefs. I'm gonna be loyal to my pick, and yeah, let's surprise the world. Why not? But moving on, talking about pressure for the upcoming weekend and who is gonna be able to handle it better. You said it just a moment ago. It's been an issue for Lamar Jackson, and right in this section, we want to talk a little bit about that because we have, again, in my list, the top two teams, which are the Ravens and the Niners. And who do you think has the most pressure moving on?
I think Lamar. Lamar has the most pressure because he has a depth right now, and he's still pending to prove us or to show us the player he used to be when in regular season, the MVP. We were talking about that. He has the weapons he needs. He's playing at home. He's a lot of people is expecting. The team is expecting also for him to show up as a leader, to show us as a quarterback that can take the team all the way down and taking them to the Super Bowl even, right? So if they fail at this point, this is going to be a big, big failure for the team, for what it was built. So for me, he has he has all the pressure. For the Niners, they are a great team. They are a team. So I think when you have a team that is so complete in all ends, it's easier to handle the pressure because everything it's kind of like it's distributed between or along the team, not just in one person. But a lot of people is expecting a lot from the Ravens and from Lamar Jackson mainly. So that's what I see or where I think it's going to be around the pressure. Brock Purdy, I mean, nobody's expecting a lot from him. Even though he's in the
Do you
conversation
really think that? I
for
think
the MVP, he's in the conversation, but he's not. He's not an MVP candidate as of now. And I don't think a lot of people is expecting all that they are expecting from Lamar Jackson. So
Okay.
he's not gonna handle that amount of pressure, of course. And I even think that a lot of people is expecting him to fail. So if he fails, it's like I told you so. That's it. If Lamar Jackson fails, it's not gonna be like that, right? So that's what I
All right. So overall, you think the Ravens will have the most pressure? Okay. So we agree on that. I think the Ravens, like I said before, I have them as my favorite team right now, in the first place. So that already tells you a little bit of the pressure that they have on their shoulders. Again, I mentioned this before. The history in the recent postseasons have been great for them. Lamar,
or in the big games.
yeah, for sure. And Lamar, like you rightly call it out, I mean, the expectations that we all have on him to finally deliver are increasing every year, right? And that's just gonna be a lot to wield. And the other thing that you didn't even talk about, but you have the Texans as a pretty strong team right now, and sitting there in your training camp or
They are
whatever,
loose. They are playing
looking
loose as
to
well.
this Texans play, if you're the Ravens, I mean, watch out. You have to be very careful because they have nothing to lose. And I think that's going to add a little bit of extra pressure because they are seeing the level of play that these young guys are bringing, what CJ Stroud is doing. And that adds pressure to your preparation, right? To your game plan. Because it's, I mean,
The way he
you
won.
don't know what to expect
The
from
way
from these teams that are just learning throughout this whole process, right?
Yeah.
You can face a team that is going to be awful and it's going to look bad and ugly. It's going to make a lot of mistakes, but at the same time, you could potentially face a team that is going to play perfectly. Everything is going to go their way. Who knows, right? So I think that's another element that is going to add pressure to the Ravens more than to the Niners, because I mean the Niners, they just have too much talent. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously that adds pressure because the expectation is pretty high. Like if you have all these guys playing together, McCaffrey, Trent Williams, Bosa, Chase Young. I mean, the names go on and on. Debo
Yeah.
Samuel. Too many names that adds pressure, but I don't think it's as much pressure as the Ravens. Again, because of their history a little bit in the recent postseasons. The only thing I want to mention about the Niners, and you said that the fact that Brock Purdy doesn't have the high expectations that Lamar has, I think that's fair to say, obviously, because we understand Lamar's talent is up
Yeah.
for those expectations, right? So, but I think if somebody's gonna have a lot of pressure in the Niners this coming weekend, is gonna be Purdy, because he simply cannot be the reason why they lose. He cannot be the reason why they lose, because that's literally gonna mark his entire career moving on, right? Because if he throws badly, right? If he gives the ball over or whatever, like that's just gonna. I'm not gonna say that he's gonna end his career,
No, no.
but at the
But
same time,
I get the
it's gonna
point.
feel like it, right?
I
Like,
get the point. However, he has a team that has his back.
yeah, no, for sure.
And and it's easier when you have a team that it's like that, right?
And I think
Because
we
of all the
haven't,
talent that they have, right?
yeah, and I think we
The
haven't
way
credited
been
the
playing.
guy when he has played good and when he has actually delivered as a leader in the team, because sometimes it has happened that McCaffrey is being stopped, maybe the running is not going that well, and then here we go. You have to figure it out, bro. Throw us for touchdown passes or something because we need the win, and he has done it a couple times this year. So we have to give credit to the guy as well. But yeah, I think again
I
the
think that
Ravens are
part's
gonna
gonna
be,
play a critical role if they make it to the Super Bowl. It's gonna be
each
you know,
game.
if
Each game is gonna have the same
yeah,
type
yeah,
of
but
of
for
vibe.
if they make it to that point, because
It's gonna
it's
wait
more
more and more as we progress in the
exactly.
postseason. Yeah, I agree. But yeah, it's the Ravens then who has the more pressure. Let's see if they're able to deliver. And yeah, I think it's gonna be phenomenal if we see this in the Super Bowl as the final matchup. Clearly,
Yeah.
it will be a dream scenario because we understand the type of talent each of these teams have. So we'll see if that's the case. More on that in the upcoming weeks as the game develop. But yeah, that's a little bit about pressure. But let's switch pages a little bit here, and let's talk about our predictions in regards of who's gonna have a better game. We have seen two tremendous postseason rookies. Well, one of them is actually a rookie from the entire year. The other one is playing on his third year, I think it is,
I
for
think it
Jordan
is.
Love. But it's his first postseason as a starter, obviously. And we want to talk a little bit about that. Who is going to have the better game? CJ Stroud, my boy, or Jordan Love?
I don't think I need to ask you.
I might
But
surprise you.
okay,
We'll
okay,
see.
yeah. Well, for me, I think CJ Stroud will have the better game. In I have it as a surprise. We'll talk about this later. But I think CJ Stroud will have the better game. He he's been consistent throughout the year, and for me, consistency it's the key, you know. And when
Mhm.
you have that consistency throughout the year, it's easier for you to face these type of challenges. For Jordan Love, he has been playing well. It's been a good season. The first season as a starting quarterback, let's say that he plays the whole season. However, he still has a couple of things to work on. Sometimes when when it comes to make decisions under pressure, he tends to hesitate a little bit, and those are a couple of things that you don't see in CJ Stroud when he plays. He's already confident. That's what I like about him. He's already confident when he's playing. Um, he has a great ratio, right? Touchdowns against interceptions. So that plays also very well about him. Jordan Love as well. He has a great ratio, but I still believe CJ Stroud has a sparkle that's been shining throughout the season. He has been proving himself that he can deliver. Sorry, so I think it's gonna be for him. In I think Jordan Love's gonna have a good game, but he's playing a better defense for me than CJ Stroud.
Mhm.
So
Yep. Yeah, I think. Yeah, we certainly agree. Obviously, I was not gonna.
yeah, I was not expecting something
Of
different. So
course, of course, I'm going with CJ Stroud to have the better game, partially because of this last point you mentioned. I think the Niners defense is just gonna be
yeah,
overwhelming for the Packers. So if they're not able to stop that pass rush, it's gonna be a long night or afternoon. I can remember when this game
I
is
don't
played. I
remember
think it's night. For Jordan Love, we'll see. He didn't have that level of pressure from Dallas defense, which was one of the biggest reasons why he ended up having the great game he had.
Mm-hmm.
But I just don't think the Niners are gonna let this guy alone
Mm-hmm.
throughout the entire game. They're gonna throw whatever they can to put him under pressure, and that we'll see if he's able to, like you said, right, handle it. So yeah, I think CJ Stroud is gonna have a better game. He has had the most consistent year. We saw Jordan Love struggling a little bit early on the season. Kudos to Jordan Love though, because it's been a great story and how he has developed throughout the middle of the regular season. It's been amazing to see, but I just think CJ Stroud is has the momentum going.
Yeah,
Again, he's being labeled as potentially the rookie of the year. I think it's already clear
and
that
he's
he
playing
will
like
win it,
that. So.
and he's playing at that level. And we talked about it just a moment ago in the previous section. The Ravens have a lot of pressure going on, and so that might be a positive thing for the Texans overall, because again they can play loose and everything, and that includes CJ. So I think that those reasons, I think CJ Stroud will have a better chance of having a better game. We'll talk about whether or not they're going to be able to win any of these two guys, but in regards of better game as a quarterback, it's going to be CJ in my opinion as well. So I think we
Yeah.
both agree on this one. Interestingly enough, we are agreeing on everything except by the fact that the Chiefs don't suck. Okay, um, but
We'll
yeah,
see. We'll see.
we'll see what happens with that for sure. Before we move into the predictions, though,
Important decision happened today in Dallas.
yes, what a turn of events in such a short period of time. I would say they didn't even take what 2 days, 3 days.
3 days,
It's
2 days, because I'm pretty sure they made the decision probably yesterday, right?
Yeah, and I'm surprised about that they didn't even try to look around and see if there was going to be chances of bringing somebody else, something like that. No, no, no. Jerry Jones said, Mike McCarthy is my guy, and he's staying
He's
for
going
the
all
next
in.
season.
He's going all in. that's it for me. Like he's
Yeah.
going all in.
They will have to prove themselves and they will have to win it next year. And it's not going to be enough if they win the division. It's not going to be enough if they win the
Wild
NFC,
card round, the
yeah, the
divisional
conference.
round.
That's not going to be. It has to be a Super Bowl win.
Yes.
That's it. There is nothing else that he can do or achieve next year that is going to make this fan base happy.
Yeah, we're not talking about progress, right? They're not looking forward to see some progress and see if they can make it to the divisional round or if they can finally win the conference, right? I mean, they're betting on this because they still believe this team can win the Super Bowl. And for me, the combination McCarthy and Dak Prescott during regular season, it's paying off. They had a kind of flexible schedule, but we said it before. This is not one of the greatest teams of the league right now. They proved that last Sunday, and I don't think we're not gonna see a different team next year. Of course, they're gonna add a couple of specific, some
Pieces,
they will have
players,
some
yeah.
additions to the team, probably good additions, but not that much as well. And we're gonna see kind of like the same outcome. I know I'm going ahead of time, but
And you
it's
want that to happen.
of course I want that to happen, but it's still, I mean, it's like you're doing the same over and over again, and you haven't had results in the past 20 years,
3 years clearly, but yeah, it goes back for sure.
probably more exactly. And in the recent history, it's still the same, and they're just repeating a pattern. I mean, I know they're not gonna go with or they're not gonna clean the house completely and start over. And I know that's not gonna happen because they still have, or they're in the contention, right? But they don't have what it takes. They don't have that special component that you need in a winner team. So that's it for me. I mean, good that they kept McCarthy. I mean, I'm a Giants fan. I know I'm not.
You're not in a position
I'm not
to
in a position,
celebrate anything, but this you can celebrate a little bit
but
at
I can
least.
celebrate that at least the Cowboys won't be able to win a Super Bowl next
Yeah.
year. So
All right,
I'm happy because of that.
yeah, we all know the definition of being crazy and just doing the same things all over again,
Exactly.
expecting a different result. And it looks like this might be one of those cases where, again, this Dallas team is just betting on this coaching staff. Well, I don't know if there's going to be moves in the rest of the coaching staff, but at least in Mike McCarthy. And one of the happiest people on planet Earth right now, it's probably Dak Prescott.
Yes.
I will believe so because obviously the
He's gonna get paid another year.
yeah, Mike McCarthy is saying it's gonna probably bring him back as well, right? It's looking like there is already a pattern or a trend of them trying to stay with this court and try to go after it again, right? So I will imagine that Dak Prescott will also be part of the team next year. They will probably work on some sort of extension or rework of the contract, whatever it is. But it seems like he's gonna benefit from this. Because a new coach would have been a total different conversation. Maybe somebody will come aggressive and say, I just, this is not my guy, and let's move on. But Mike McCarthy, I don't think is going to be that guy.
He's not gonna make that decision for sure.
Yeah, and like you said, the biggest problem is, I mean, what can they do or what can they try to change with the rest of the team to turn this thing over? Because they cannot do the same, apply the same plan and think that the
It's
other
gonna
teams
work.
are just going to be worst next year. Because we see what the Packers are doing. They're going to come strong next year. This postseason is going to be a great lesson for them. And if they win, imagine what that could mean for this team moving on. So I mean, the Niners are gonna still be on the way. Who knows what happens with the drafts and teams that might reveal some things. The Giants might finally do something with their franchise. I don't think so,
I
but
hope so.
um,
I
yeah.
pray every day for that.
I mean, everybody around the league is going to continue to develop. It's going to continue to try to improve, right? And I don't know if Dallas has much room, especially not in the cap space conversation, to make any aggressive moves or anything like that. And again, I just don't expect this to happen, especially because how involved Jerry Jones is always.
And I think
with
that's the problem.
GMing things,
That's the
right?
problem.
He's
the one making the decision.
and he's an old guy. I just old guys are pretty stubborn. We all know that, right?
Yes.
And I think the guy just wants to see this team succeed, and his ego is not gonna let this thing go. Because if he says, or if he would have made a different decision today about sending McCarthy out, it's literally admitting that you was wrong.
You were wrong.
And obviously he doesn't want that. So
Yeah.
I
But
think that's
his
part
ego
of
is-
the reason why he's gonna continue being there. as
His
well.
ego right now, it's bigger than 25.
Right
probably
now it's always
30
been like
years.
that. I think it's
I
been
don't know.
always like that.
I mean, it's unbelievable. For me, it's unbelievable what he's doing. He wants to control the whole thing, and I don't think you can do that. The only person that can do that, and was actually successful at it, was Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
Other than that, nobody's able to do it. And you
Because
need
of who he had next to him, right? 'Cause we all know
exactly,
it's
exactly.
it's a
I
different
mean, he had a
story,
good
right?
combination there.
It was pretty decent. It was pretty. The guy next to him was pretty decent. You know.
Yeah, but again, I mean, it's not what you're supposed to do with the team. You need a general manager. You need different components, to help you making the right decisions. He's not making the right decisions. He hasn't made the right decisions in the last, again, 25 years probably. So it comes a time when you have to face it. I mean, you have probably you have a lot of fans.
It's the biggest
behind
brand in
you.
football.
Yes,
for sure.
you have the team that it's the most valuable team in terms of money as well.
Yep.
Of the league, and you're making all the decisions without getting any help or putting your ego, as we said, before the team. I think that's dangerous, and that's what's hurting this team.
Yeah, it's a great bet. It's all
It's an
in,
all-in.
literally.
It's an all-in.
All in.
Yeah.
And we'll see if it pays off or if it goes again wrong. We have 3 years of evidence that this is not gonna work, but this guy
Still.
seems to be thinking something else. I don't know if he has a time machine or something. He went in the future and he finally won the thing or something, because nobody really thought this was going to happen. And again, especially this quickly. And yeah, again, for all of you Cowboys fans, let us know what you think about this decision. Do you love it? Do you hate it?
I'm pretty sure they're not happy. I'm pretty sure.
Well,
But let
we
us
all,
know.
all believe
Let us know,
that
of
that's the
course.
case, right? But yeah, let us know. Let us know what you think. If you see a
I wouldn't
different
be happy.
future
I
with
wouldn't
Mike
be happy.
McCarthy moving on.
But
Well,
thanks God, I'm not a Cowboys
yeah,
fan.
all of you Cowboys haters must be celebrating. I know. But yeah, that's pretty fresh news that we got reported by Adam Schefter actually earlier today, and Mike McCarthy is staying. So we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, let's jump into what we want to talk about. We all want the weekend to already come. We all want the games to be played, and we all have our own predictions. So
Yes.
let's jump straight into our predictions.
I guess you can start on this one.
Oh, you want me to start? That's so
Yeah, you-
adorable. Thank you.
You forced me to start with the top.
okay. We're even now. Okay. So we start with Saturday games, I guess.
Yeah.
We go
Let's go
on.
with it.
So Texans Ravens is gonna be the first game on Saturday, and oh my God, you see my expression right now. I'm still hesitant about this. it's it was a hard decision. It was a hard decision, and I think if this happens again, this is gonna haunt me for the rest of my life.
Okay.
Because I'm going with my head for this one,
Okay.
and I'm picking the Ravens to win this game. I said it before. For me, they are at the top of these 8 teams, the remaining 8 teams. They have a great team. They have great talent, great weapons. Everything seems to be aligned for them to have their year, and that's why I'm picking them. I'm saying that they are gonna win 27-34. It's gonna be a, somewhat of a crazy score. A lot of points from both teams. I'm expecting. So that also tells you that defenses might not be the key factor I'm waiting
And
in
they're
right
not
now.
gonna be the key factor.
Yeah, I'm thinking that this is gonna be more of the offenses and what they can accomplish and what they can do. I think the Ravens are locked in. What you are seeing in the press conferences, it looks like they're gonna come strong, and they don't want to blow this up. And I think that's one of the biggest reasons why I'm expecting them to win. Again, my heart was telling me that the Texans could put an upset here, and if it happens, I'm gonna still be happy. Don't get me wrong, but my official prediction is the Ravens. Lamar's running game is gonna matter a lot. Again, we talked about it earlier today. He is exceptional at it, and if the Texans are not able to stop that, it's game over because he's gonna be able to run, and then whenever he wants, he's gonna be able to pass, and they're not gonna know what's coming next. So, but he's gonna need to limit his turnovers. So he cannot throw the ball over. Please don't throw the ball over, and don't blow my prediction right now, because that's gonna be a key factor.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. It's good that you're going with your head. I'm going with a bold decision on this one.
Okay, I like that.
This is curious because I have the exact same score, but the other way around.
Oh,
I have
okay.
34 for the Texans, 27 for the Ravens.
All right.
Yes, I know. It's a bold decision. It's a bold prediction, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But still, I believe I would like to see this upset here. Like, this is the type of upsets that I
Yeah.
like to see during this time of the year. So I'm going with that. I know there are plenty of arguments in favor for in Ravens' favor. They're the better team. I'm not going against that. But this is just one game, and anything can happen. And I'm hoping for everything
To happen. Yeah.
so we'll see. We'll see on this one. I'm betting on the Ravens, on the Texans. Sorry, uh, because they're playing loose. They don't have pressure. They will come on the field and they will have fun. Of course, I know. I mean, everyone's it's competitive when it's about sports, and I know they will do everything they can to win, and that's probably in their minds. Um, and I think they are gonna be able to succeed. I would like
Okay.
to see this.
It will
to
be an
happen.
awesome story. I'm not gonna like I said before. I'll be still happy if they win this, because we all like the upsets. At the end of the day,
Yeah.
no matter if you're a fan of the other team or whatever, the upset is always a beautiful story to see every year. And if it happens again, I'm gonna have my prediction wrong, but I'm
You're gonna be
it
happy.
wouldn't
I know.
matter.
I
It
know.
wouldn't
You're
matter.
gonna be happy.
Yeah, I will be happy for my boy CJ Stroud and those guys out there. But that's Texans Ravens again on Saturday. First game is gonna be a high scoring game. It seems for both of us.
Yes.
So that's gonna be great because we like to see that. And moving on to the second game on Saturday, we have the Packers versus the Niners. So you go first on this one.
Okay. Okay. Well, I thought about this, and then after giving some thought to the score, to the potential score, um, I came to the conclusion that this is gonna be an easy one for the Niners, because again they're a team, right? They have too many weapons on each side of the court, right? So defensively they're great, offensively they're great, and they're gonna bring a lot of pressure on Jordan Love. So I think this is going to be 37-24. Still, I think Jordan Love will find some ways to score, but it's gonna be 37-24 for the Niners. They have
Okay.
the better team, so I'm not going bold on this
Yeah,
one.
yeah. You got your bold
Yeah,
prediction already.
yeah, and
That's
only
your
one.
doses of it.
That's the doses.
That's
Yeah.
all you get. Okay. But I'm with you on this one. It's gonna be the Niners, and the score is pretty similar. I think it's gonna be kind of a blow up for the Niners here, winning 17-35. So again, close to yours. And yeah, I just think that the Niners are gonna come strong. They're gonna be playing physical. Again, they're gonna
Yes,
throw
they're at
probably a lot
home
of
as
yeah.
well.
They are the home court advantage. They have McCaffrey, who's just
Yes,
he's just
these
an
dude.
unstoppable machine, bro. I just don't
Yes,
understand. This guy is so great. Potentially another candidate for offensive player of the year. Obviously, we know I mean, it's the quarterbacks and everything you want, but he has been
he should be in the
great.
conversation as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely.
And so I don't I just don't foresee the Packers stopping that.
No, no, no.
And even if they do, we talk about the weapons. They have Debo Samuel. The defense is great. Chase Young, Bosa, Trent Williams. I
It's
mean,
too
too
much.
many Pro
It's
Bowlers,
too
too
much.
many All Stars. It's just so crazy. This team is just so loaded that it's so hard to think they can lose this game.
Yes.
And again, the Packers played great against Dallas, and that was already an upset. But we said it earlier, or at least I said it earlier. I just don't. They're ahead of their time. A
Yes.
couple more years could be a different conversation. Um, and again, as long as Brock Purdy doesn't mess it up,
He just needs to play decent. That's it.
it's an average game. That's all we're asking.
That's all he has to deliver.
That's important. And again, the first quarter I think is gonna tell us the whole story because what we saw from these Niners throughout the entire year is when they start winning, nobody stops them. It's just a clear win. But if they start slow, that's when things get a little shaky because again the pressure start coming to Brock Purdy's decisions, and that's where you can start, feeling a little scary about them not winning. But again, I just don't see that happening. It's too much of a strong team. This should be also their year. So either for the Ravens or the Niners, this is it. This is it. They have to win this year. And if they win this year, obviously they will have another chance if they keep this core together. But yeah, the Niners are gonna win this for me as well. And that's on Saturday's game. And the next two games are gonna be on Sunday. So let's move into the next one. It's the Bucs against the Lions. You wanna
Who
go
do you have?
first?
No,
I'll
who do
go
you have
first.
here?
I got the Lions. It's
Yeah,
I mean,
I
again,
think it's
the Bucks
easy,
are
right?
already playing an extra game this year. They shouldn't even be here probably, but they earned it at the same time. They won the game
They
very
play
well.
against probably the worst team we had in the playoffs. So
Yeah, and they earned the spot obviously through the division. It's just the division they got, so they're taking the opportunity. They are here, but Detroit has too much to win out of this.
yes,
And
they're playing at home as well.
yeah, and
They're
I
playing
think
with their people. That's
And I
that's
think
what
one of the key factors as well with this Detroit team is going to be that they already let that kind of pressure of winning their first playoff game
Yes.
behind, right? So that's already in the past. They already did it.
It's gonna be different. It's
And
gonna
now
be a
this
different
game
story.
they restart the whole energy about that, and I think that the place is going to be loud. The fans are going to be there from early because we saw it in the first game.
Yes.
Detroit fans are just
They have to enjoy it as well.
I mean, they're hoping for this and they're wishing and they're praying and they're just trying to bring whatever energy, whatever positivity they can. I mean, even Eminem is all over the place trying to bring whatever he can to this game and motivate these guys. And I think, I mean,
It was kind of cool, like seeing like all the
it was
people,
cool. It was cool.
singing Eminem songs and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Lose Yourself, and it was
so
kind of
cool.
fun, yeah.
So yeah, and obviously I think we both agree that Goff is the better quarterback on this one as well.
Yes.
So on that head to head, we will expect him to beat Baker. So yeah, I'm taking the Lions to win. Did I mention the score is 17-28 in case I didn't?
17-28. Okay, we're close on this one as well. I have the Lions 28-19.
Okay.
So I don't think it's gonna be a
You
blow
copy
up.
my did you copy my predictions, bro?
I didn't. I didn't.
Or did I copy yours?
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know either.
But it's weird. It's weird. We can agree on that. What I don't think we're gonna agree on it's the next one. The Bills against the Chiefs. Again, this is the main dish of the
Yeah,
weekend.
it is. It is by far, and I mean, the conditions are gonna be awful, bro. This game is gonna be played
Yeah.
at night. I don't
But
understand
both
why that.
teams
I mean,
are used to it.
yeah, no, for sure. But why do you do that? Like, I mean, playing in the cold. I understand it's an interesting
They
idea.
want the prime
It
time.
sells.
They want the
No,
prime
no,
time.
for
That's
sure.
it.
Obviously, that's it's television. We know there's a lot of money behind that. But I mean, if you wanna hopefully have the better show, you play with the better conditions possible in that environment. And playing at night is not gonna give you that. So I
Yeah.
think that's gonna impact the game, of course, right? We'll see what the weather is looking like this week in Buffalo. But
It's not gonna be nice. For sure, it's
flip,
not gonna be
flip
nice.
it around, brother. Like flip it around. Let them play in the afternoon. I mean, the Lions are playing in a dome. They don't have to worry about any of this. But anyways, it's what it is. That's the decision the league made because of television and primetime money. But hopefully we still have a great game. But you go first on this one.
Yes. Okay, well, my score here is 36-29 for the Bills.
26, 26, 29?
36
29?
29, yeah.
Okay.
One touchdown.
Mhm.
That's it.
That's it. Nothing else to add. Okay.
Nothing else to add.
All
I
right.
mean,
All right.
we have said it. We have said it already. Like, it's very clear for me.
Let me get ready for this one.
Go
No,
for it,
I,
go for
I,
it.
I,
I
already,
know.
I already said a lot of what I had for this one when we were talking about top teams. I obviously have the Chiefs. No surprise there. I certainly think it's going to be a close game. I think it's actually going to be defined in the final drive. And so
Yes.
that's what I'm betting for the Chiefs because I believe Mahomes is going to bring us home. I think the Chiefs are going to win this by a very close margin. It's going to be a field goal. It's going to be 31-28 for the Chiefs to pull the upset here because they are the
Yes,
underdogs. It seems like so. It's the first game the Mahomes is playing on the road in the playoffs. So that's a key,
Yes.
an interesting fact at least, because
But I
we'll
want to
see
see
how.
with the wide receivers.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm not
I mean, Rashid
hesitant
Rice is
about
it's-
Mahomes.
He caught fire and he brings the momentum from the past game or the previous game. What I have here in my notes is Kelsey is due for a great game because he didn't have a great one, at least not in the first game against the Dolphins here in the postseason. And I think, again, all the noise, everybody talking that the Chiefs are not the same, that they're vulnerable, that, I mean, the Bills are better right now.
They are vulnerable.
Yeah, no, you can say whatever
are.
you want, brother. Keep talking.
They are.
We want to hear it all, okay? That's going to give us more motivation. And we're going to end up winning this thing. And we're going to have this conversation on Monday, and I'm going to be crying maybe because if we lose, I'm going to cry, okay? But if not, I'm going to be celebrating. You're probably going to have to wear a Kansas City Chiefs jersey or something. If
I don't care. I mean, I'm not against the Chiefs. I'm not against the Chiefs. Okay.
Yeah, but again, going back to the point, I think Kelsey needs to have a great game, and he will. He's arguably, for many of us, probably the greatest tight end in the history of this game. Obviously, you can have Gronk in the discussion. You can have Shannon Sharp. I mean, there is names there. But, but he is one of the greatest tight ends in the history. Yeah, he's one of the greatest tight ends. Again, that's a discussion for a different day. But I think he owns that to the team. His brother just retired, which we didn't talk about that, by the way, earlier today. But Jason Kelsey, announced his retirement. Also, this same week after the tough loss by the Eagles, and a tough season overall. So I think that's something to motivate Kelsey to deliver, because now his brother is probably gonna be
he has
watching the
Taylor
game.
Swift to get motivation, you know.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, his brother is gonna be extra.
Need something else?
Imagine now that Swift is gonna have Taylor. It's gonna have his mom. It's gonna have his brother. I mean, he's gonna be greatly motivated to go and just have an amazing game. Again, I think Mahomes is gonna bring us home in that final drive. It's gonna be a movie ending type of game. Hopefully, because that's what we all love to see. So whether if it's the Bills that wins that way or the Chiefs, hopefully the Chiefs, we want to see a close game. We want to see an amazing game. And again, just that label again, I can't let that go. Being labeled the underdogs as a, I mean, I think we can all say it's been a dynasty.
What can you say? I mean, why wouldn't they be the underdogs? Why?
We talked about this before.
It's against the Bills.
Yeah, and
they're even higher in your top eight
by a close margin. I'm not saying the Bills are that
it means
much
they're
better.
underdogs then.
I'm not saying. I mean, the Bills are. Let me say this, okay?
On your top eight,
Josh Allen is that much better, right? Not the entire
we're
team.
We're not talking about just the quarterback,
so it
right?
depends on the guy. Literally, it depends on him. Because if it doesn't
it's not
have
all about him,
it's gonna be all about him.
No, it's not.
It has to be because that's the way they
season
have.
The Chiefs has had during this year. It's not Mahomes' fault. It's not.
No, it's
right?
never gonna be his fault. It seems like
he's great.
Always,
he's been amazing.
Good,
so it's not his fault. So,
but in the other side, when Josh Allen doesn't play, and that sometimes happen. Well,
yes.
I mean, it could happen that he has a bad game, and if he does, what are they gonna do?
For anyone,
right?
They're all humans, right?
For sure. Except Mahomes,
yes,
he is not human. He doesn't look human to me. I don't know.
Sometimes he doesn't. I know, but again, they have had a regular season, just regular. And it's not because of Mahomes. That's my thought.
Yeah.
So if it comes to Mahomes, he's going to be able to deliver, of course, and the score might be different than the one I have in my prediction. But I don't think it depends on him at this time. So we'll see what happens with the
it's going to be a
and
thriller. It's going to be a thriller. A lot of the units match head-to-head again. Both great quarterbacks. Either of them can just take that game over at any given point. Yeah. The rush game, again, is pretty even. I think, in my opinion, the Chiefs had a little bit of a better defense, at least at this stage, right? And they have the better coach, which should also matter. Andy Reid is one of the greatest coaches we have seen, and the game plan is going to be important. Yes. It's going to be a different environment because, again, it's the first time they're going to go on the road in the playoffs with Mahomes. But all that said, I still have my Chiefs.
I know. But, well, we have a great weekend ahead.
Great one.
This is the type of weekends where great stories are written. So,
yep,
we'll see.
And will be written. For whoever wins,
for sure,
there is going to be, this is going to be part of their legacy. And again, we are here to see it all. But that's going to be about it on today's episode. I hoped and we hoped you guys liked this episode
Hope
today.
You enjoyed it.
And like we said, and we always ask you to do this, go ahead to the comment section and drop your own predictions. Who do you got? Who do you guys got this weekend? Who's winning? Who's not? Who has the better prediction from these two guys over here, huh? Let us know. Let us know in the comments.
We're gonna see that on Monday, but yeah, let us know.
Yeah.
What teams you got?
Yeah, I still have the better prediction. Even if you win, I still have the better prediction. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, let us know. Drop a comment. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, this is the moment to do it. Because if you're still here, it means that you want to continue seeing this type of content in the future. So go ahead and do that because we're going to be bringing you all of the action, all of the news. It's not only football. It's going to be other sports all the time.
We have many things coming. Many things coming.
A lot. So stay tuned for that. Again, turn on the notifications bell as well so you don't miss any of the content we're dropping. And yeah, share, like, all the good stuff. Follow us on socials. I mean, you have homework, all right? Go ahead and do a little bit of that and let us know in the comments once you complete that homework as well. Why not? My guy, The weekend is exciting. You said it already
Yes.
100 million times, but I can't stop repeating it myself either.
We're just waiting for it to come.
Yeah,
That's it.
Please, please, and yeah, we'll be seeing you on Monday and see what happens and who got it right and who got it wrong, and all
And
the
let's
good
enjoy
stuff.
football.
Let's
That's it.
enjoy the weekend and football especially.
Yes.
You already know what it is.
Thank you so much.
Peace.
See you next time. Bye.